I do believe that if you keep being in an angry state of mind, things will not get better, they'll only get worse. And also the way you see your life and the world, you will just continue to be angry, you will just continue to be sad, and you will just continue to be miserable. And at the end of the day, you're going to be your own enemy. So either you become your own best friend, either you see things in a new light, or you continue being where you are. Hey guys, it's McKenna, and today I'm going to tell you why your mind doesn't control you, you control your mind. So here we go. So first, I'm gonna start by talking about this message that really rewired my brain and impacted me, and I'm sure it's going to impact you too. So there are two wolves, right? One is darkness and despair, and the other one is light and hope. They're always constantly fighting, but which ones wins? It's whichever ones you feed. That means whichever one you give your energy to, whichever one you decide to focus on, whichever one you feed is the one that's going to win. And that goes for your mind too. Whichever side of your mind you give energy to, the one of hope, the positive mind, or the negative mind, if you give your energy to the negative mind, this one is going to take over. I thought I was a victim of my mind. I did not think I could be actually in charge of my mind. I did not think I could actually stop being the autopilot of my mind. I thought I was just a victim of it. And so I realized your thoughts, the way you think about yourself, the way you see yourself, the way you love yourself will impact if you think positively about yourself, about your life or not. Because every single time something happened to me, or I was not proud of myself, or I did not achieve what I wanted to achieve, every single time, until literally like this week, a couple weeks ago, I used to go through a very dark cycle. The day would be going on. I didn't achieve what I wanted to achieve. I got disappointed with myself or with others. And then I would go into self-hate. I would go into bad situation mentally. And I would cry myself to sleep. And then I would wake up the next morning angry. And that would last for like about 48 hours. And I would try to be all good. And then the next time I was disappointed, it would happen all over again. And that is such a toxic cycle. I really need to rewire my brain, and you need to realize that you don't have to be a victim of your thoughts. And that comes from someone who was diagnosed with depression. You do not have to be a victim of your thoughts. You can only make them worse. Of course, bad things will happen. Life is full of good and bad. There will be no light without any darkness. I believe in manifestation. I believe that you can create your own reality. But of course, you cannot control your life to always be perfect, to never have bad things happen, because that is not life. Life is full of darkness and life is full of light. But when the darkness does happen, you don't have to be in such a bad place every single time it happens. Because at some point, when you go through a lot of trauma, you also have a way of coping with it. And for me, it was to hit on myself. For me, it was to be angry, anger. 2025, the only feelings I felt was anger and sadness. And I thought that was just who I was. And I always blame it on everything I've been through. But you know what? When you always see the worst, when you always think the worst is going to happen to you, guess what? It continues to happen. And of course, it's extremely important and healthy to sit in your anger, to sit in your sadness, but don't stay there forever. Because if you only focus on the bad, if you only focus on what is going wrong, you will never be able to see the good. You will never be able to achieve the good, because you're always focused on the bad and what happened to you and all those things. Because also, everything that is bad that is happening to you happened in the past. It's all things that we think about that happened in the past, and it's extremely valid. It can be tragedies, it can be very hard shit, but we cannot keep being in the past. At some point, you have to be honest with yourself and ask yourself if staying in that mindset is healthy, if staying in that mindset is good for you, and ask yourself if it's time to move on from that. And if it's time to grow from all the shit that happened, and not just stay there angry, frustrated, and depressed. And I know you're mad because you're probably thinking, well, that's the thing that happened to me. It's easy for you to say. First of all, We all go through a ton of shit. I've been through a lot. And I'm just saying thoughts that I had. When I saw people saying to me, oh, just be more positive, I got angry because I was like, oh, well, I can because la 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 la. Oh, but that's just not who I am, blah, 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 blah. I was born a very happy girl. I was born extremely positive. People made fun of me because of how positive I was. I was a child and I was always smiling. But then shit happened to me and I became extremely, extremely sad and depressed, and I was not in a good mindset anymore. I was not in a good mental state anymore. But I want to get back to that inner child. I want to get back to my old self that saw the positive and not toxic positivity. Again, you have to feel the shit and not think everything is fine when things are not going fine. But after you felt the shit and after you're like, well, that was not fine, I'm angry. After you feel that, then move on from that. And then you have to realize, okay, if I stay there, it's only going to make me more miserable. If I stay in that state of mind and if I keep feeding the darkness and despair, it will only make me miserable. And the only way to move on from that is to change your mindset, is to see things more positively. And I do strongly believe that when you think more positively, good things happen in your life. I truly, truly believe that. Of course, tragedies and bad stuff will continue to happen because at the end of the day, that is life. But I truly believe that if you think positively, good things will happen, because the people, I have seen it with my own eyes, people who are always negative, I have seen it with myself, bad things continue to happen to them. And that can be literally like their daily day things. They always have things happening to them. But when I see people who are more positive, good things happen because they grow from it and they don't define their identity with being depressed, with being sad. And when you change your mindset, the world around you will also change, or you will also start to see more opportunities than things not going your way, and you will be in a better mood. And I know you might be frustrated hearing that, but it's the truth. Better things happen when you have a better way of seeing life. Better things happen when you see life in a different light. And if you want to continue to be miserable, you can. It's all in your control. The way you think, the way you see yourself, your identity, your mindset, it's all in your control. So if you want to continue to be someone who is angry, who is sad, you can. But you can also change that shit and be like, you know what? Life tested me. I'm going to keep being happy. I'm going to keep finding things to be grateful for. And I'm going to see the positive. And I'm going to become the happiest person I can possibly be by not letting life keep me down. Because if I keep letting life keep me down, I'll be depressed my entire life, and then I'm going to be on my deathbed sad that I never was able to be happy in moments because I was always focusing on the bad. If you focus on the good, good things will happen. Of course, I'm not saying out of the sudden, like, the bad things that happen to you won't affect you. That's completely normal. That's why we have therapy to deal with that. But I do believe that if you keep being in an angry state of mind, things will not get better, they'll only get worse. And also the way you see your life and the world, you will just continue to be angry, you will just continue to be sad, and you will just continue to be miserable. And at the end of the day, you're going to be your own enemy. So either you become your own best friend, either you see things in a new light, or you continue being where you are. And guys, I have seen it happen to me. When I start thinking more positively, good things, magic literally happens. That is true, okay? Just take my word for it. I know you're probably tired of hearing this, but you are a strong person. No matter what type of shit you keep going through, you are a strong person. You will get through it, and you will make sure to always take care of your spark. And yeah, I really hope it helps someone. And I just really think you should always think, do you want to feed the side of your brain that's negative and that will always see the worst? Or do you want to feed the side of your brain that will actually be a best friend for you in those hard moments, and that will keep trying to find the light in the hard situations, and that will attract good things? So it's on you. And I'm telling myself this too because it's a reminder that you have to think about daily, especially when you've had it really hard with your mental health. So that's why I'm making this video. I think it's a message that is extremely important to know. And I just really hope it helps someone. And like and subscribe for more. And I will see you baddies in my next video. Bye baddies.